This video is about being a star. This video is about just shining super bright and not letting anything get in your way about that, or with being a star, because this is about that. About that whole, like, you can be a star and still succumb and subpede to other people. Not right. If you want to be you and do things your true way, then you can't ever let anyone tell you anything different, because that would ever make you not a star. And to be a star and to shine and to ever live to anyone's expectations, to ever be truly bright in anyone's eyes, you have to truly be yourself. Otherwise, you're trying to be someone else. To truly ever want to be someone who's impressive, you can't ever be anyone else, because then they're only impressed the person you're trying to be. And that person's the one who gets the props, because they're the one who is really the one who's putting on the show, the one who's doing the things, the one that everyone's trying to emulate, which means that he had the right point. He has the right idea, he has the right mindset more specifically, but he has that thing that they all think of. If you ever read too many, or not too many, but if you ever read enough philosophy books, you might just get it. If you've read too many, you might just not care. So, or sorry, I said too many, or too money, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, a bit of a missaying. But anyway, if you ever get what you get from something that means something to you, cherish it. Make it something. Make it something that's meaningful to you, in your own way, and incorporate it in your own life in a way that's meaningful, but in your own mind. And then, let it be what is to you special, and let that tree grow fruit and, blossom in its area of the metaphorical forest that inhabits your mind. So there's just some things to keep in mind, and some things, to work with, I guess, in your day-to-day life if you're still trying to work towards something. So if you want to work towards something, there's two things to ask. First of all, do you want to know where, or are you just wondering? Because if you're on a trail and you're in the woods, there's nothing wrong with that. Because, just say, well, in the world, there's a saying that not all who wander are lost. And I believe that because that's mostly true, that if you're in the woods, that's true. If you're a problem child and you're really acting out and you're not getting with the gist, then that is a problem. You need to be, checked before you end up wrecking yourself. So that's a fact too. Both are facts, and there's more than one fact on Earth. So if you don't believe me, fact check that with someone who can fact check that. If they can't tell you anything else, that means they can't fact check that I'm wrong, which means that I'm not necessarily wrong, which means that I could be right. So I'm going to say I'm right, and that's just me. Anyway, that's one of the things. If you can't disprove something, then how can you say it's wrong? A fact. The next thing, if you want to know more about logic, because I got distracted for a sec, you can always take a class in logic, and there's classes that will teach you literally all the things about arguments that are necessary to do all the things involved in logical argumentation. So if you want to, let's say, argue a point with someone and determine whether it's valid or not, which is the point of arguing a point, then you should do is simply lay out your things, your logical arguments, and you can have the other person lay out theirs. And you just compare the 2 points side by side and say which one fits the most with the most validity. And that's the one that is the true point. So, this is all just things that can be done, let's say objectively, in order to establish something in regards to an objective. So let's say you're building a NASA spaceship, and you wanted to do something like solve all the pieces together in order to build a spaceship in order to launch it into space. You need to have all the things verified as being accurate, true, and not, a problem, or rather a liability, anything like that, because you wouldn't want anything to go wrong, because you wouldn't want to protect the astronauts involved to make sure that nothing goes wrong with the astronauts involved. Okay. Now, the idea of it's got a weird onus or thinking feeling. I don't know what I was gonna say, but I got like a weird feeling is what it was about what I was about to say. That's why I didn't say it. I don't know what it is about that, but sometimes I just get those weird things, and I guess I'll call them omens. I don't know if it's different than an omen, because I don't know what the exact technical definition for an omen is, but whatever it is, I just get them, and sometimes when you see, I don't know, I'll stop there. But anyway, what I'm getting at is, what I'm talking about is, rather, what I was meant to say, is the things you do in real life. Oh, I got to talk about logic. The point is, then this gets into subjective, which is a whole different thing than objective, right? Because you want to build a NASA spaceship, that's one thing. If you want to write a song, that's a whole different thing. So if you want to get into subjective argumentation, that's you just arguing with someone. You should know like the things you should avoid. But this is, hold on, let me clarify. If you're arguing in a technically, I'll use the North Point as my metaphor, because the North Point is like a star that will always take you north in the direction you're trying to go. Throw that on a compass and make it spin vaguely, and you'll have the key to the map to go to Locked Door Explorer's Heart. I guarantee. Anyway, as I was saying, not the exact, but the point of being able to notice the fallacies is so you don't get caught up in an argument that's not logical. Because there is literally no point in having an illogical argument, because nothing ever will result from it, so it is essentially just a waste of your time to even get involved. what you could note is you can recognize these fallacies, you can prevent yourself from getting caught in an argument with someone who's not even worth your time. So, if you were interested in learning about those things, you can learn about them. They are available in any class that teaches that exact same course, which is, I know, of course, Penn State, or available on the internet if you simply only choose to research yourself. Or if you should only choose to research, then it would be yours because there's the Freedom of Information Act, and the entire of the internet is available to you as long as you have Wi-Fi and a password. So, assuming you're in a public area for the second part. Anyway, the next thing I was going to talk about before I got interrupted, I don't remember, but the thing to think about. No, I vaguely remember what I was talking about, but now I just got really distracted. I think the thing that I was going to think about was I'm not going to think about it. I was already like on track to keep talking about it. But it's like money in mind and how you put, let's say, the pieces of your life back in order, but the pieces of you that you feel fully represent, encompass, like truly embody me, in my case instance, but what it means to be you, in quotes, then you probably have a good idea of what to do if you're interested in studying things and all. I think studying is a good, more appropriate word than read, because it definitely takes into account that it's much more of a deeper thing, but like a personal deeper thing. So anyway, but it doesn't need to define you. Just because you can read deep philosophical books doesn't mean you're necessarily, quote, a deep person, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're not, quote, a deep person. All it means is that maybe there's more to you than, someone might have thought at first, or more to one than what might meet the eye. But then again, I don't know. Human beings are more complex than anyone could imagine. So, yeah. Anyway, the idea is, if you wanted, there's no idea here, because I'm just going to keep talking. On my course for whatever it is I'm going to keep talking about, and I'll categorize this entire thing and throw a topic on top, in case you want to reference this somehow, some way. The idea is, this is actually a point I'll get at next. This is a good point. I was kind of making it before, I was touching on it before, but I'll make it now. And the point that I was going to make, rather, is that this is before I got off topic or distracted. I was distracted. It's probably distracted, but I don't know. The idea is that no one can necessarily judge you or even really define you unless, supposedly if they fully don't get to know you. So the idea is a lot of people can have these things they call expectations. You can always shatter those. Let's just say what they expect from you is not a world record. But the first time you ever saw someone break a world record, that was the first time. So anyway, the second thing they can't do is they can't assume anything about you, because they can't change anything about you as a person. They could be wrong. They're just funny laugh in their face. Like, well, this person didn't know what they're talking about. Anyway, the third thing is that what they can't do is live your life for you. So even if they think they're pulling the strings, they can't take the venom out of your spit, so they say. But they also, can't program emotions, response, or fun. So if you're like me and you're crafty and you live under the sea, as I put it, because no one's below sea level, let's just say that all the puppet masters can play with dolls, all the players can play their games, and all you can do is rock on, enjoy the show, and hope nobody stabs you with a knife. So, anyway, this is the entire thing. Oh, thank you. Sometimes I believe. Well, New Orleans is an interesting city, and if you don't know anything about New Orleans, just say it's very much of a lot. But I'd say the best word to describe it is esoteric. So, anyway, if you don't get that, come and get a feel for the vibe, and then it might make more sense to you, should you choose. So, anyway, that's all I got to say for this video, so I'm going to wrap it up. But anyway, stay tuned for more in this series, and I will call this How to Perfect the Art of Life, How to Master Yourself, and How to Rule Your Own World. So there.